I'll just start with an opening statement. Obviously you're disappointed not to be in the NCAA tournament. You hope that for your guys. We had done some unprecedented things here at Nebraska, and to be left out in a Power 5 with the record we had, obviously our strength of record was our best metric. But you can make a case for and against, as always. So we'll look forward to playing in the NIT and preparing for Mississippi State.
The reaction to not only missing the tournament, but to being a 5 seed in the NIT.
Yeah, I just don't know how seeding works in the NIT. I don't know what factors are at large, if it's just completely off your track record, or if there are other things like your available facilities, or our administration knows all that stuff, because they put out the paperwork for the bids and stuff like that, so that's Mark and Bill. So
you have a building conflict, did you?
I don't think so. I mean, and if it's just that we're the whatever seed, then well, that's their perspective, if we just go with things that they are, that they think we're the 17th to 21st best team or whatever it is in the NIT, and there's 16 other teams ahead of us, plus another 4 to whatever, I'd have a real problem with, the committee on that. I mean, the chair saw us take one of the 1 seeds right there to the final seconds and do some other things, but that's the way it goes.
Is there concern about the motivation for the team? And you spent the last essentially 2 months with the NCAA tournament in mind, and now not only NIT, but to go on the road.
Well, I just don't like not playing. I mean, this will be our 3rd game in 21 days, 22 days. So just the fact that we haven't played at all, I mean, you just kind of, how much do you practice, and still get better? I think that's my greatest concern, is just there's been so much, you try and get as competitive as you can, but we just haven't played. You look at where you play 21 or 10 games in 29 days, and here we end the season after Indiana, and this will be our 3rd game in 22. So, I'm more concerned about just getting us up in game form. We let the guys go after the selection show, and I just watched it in my office and waited for this. And so I haven't had any contact with the guys. And I won't until tomorrow. I'm going to go to work on Mississippi State. They're 16-2 at home, and we've seen them before in an exhibition game, charity game. So, Ben's done a good job with them.
What was the guys' kind of the obvious question, but what's the guys' reaction?
Just very disappointed. Just that, how you just, what do you say? They're disappointed.
What words came out of your mouth when you saw you were a 5 seed in the NIT?
Well, I can't repeat that. So I was surprised.
I guess the fact that you have...
I think the less I say, the better.
The fact that you have seen these guys before with the quick turnaround, is there any advantage there?
Well, they've got a lot of talent. I hope Nick Witherspoon's healthy enough to play. I actually saw that play. I was watching him. Just had the TV on. And but the 2 Witherspoon kids are really tough. And the Peters kid on the wing, as I remember, 23, I think, was really good. And then one of their big kids, too, is now back with them. And so they'll be a very good team, there's no doubt. But I don't know what your question was, but we'll be ready to play.
Do you guys feel your program got slapped in the face today?
Yeah, a little bit. I really do feel like we got slapped in the face, and it is what it is. I mean, you can, we can still do something about it. I think that's the good news, and I hope we rally and respond, and the guys feel the same way I do.
Does a season like this change your perspective on non-conference scheduling?
Well, I have to study it a little bit, because we've always scheduled, I think fairly to what we thought, and we just didn't know what the league was going to look like, really, coming in. I think if you would have bet, 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, 12 years ago, 13 years ago, 14 years ago, 15 years ago, 16 years ago, 17 years ago, 18 years ago, 19 years ago, 20 years ago, 21 years ago, 22 years ago, 23 years ago, 24 years ago, 25 years ago, 26 years ago, 27 years ago, 28 years ago, 29 years ago, 30 years ago, 31 years ago, 32 years ago, 33 years ago, 34 years ago, 35 years ago, 36 years ago, 37 years ago, 38 years ago, 39 years ago, 40 years ago, 41 years ago, 42 years ago, 43 years ago, 44 years ago, 45 years ago, 46 years ago, early in the year, I might have done the same. I would have flipped Ohio State and Iowa, thinking coming into the year. So in the beginning, you're like, oh, good, we got a high caliber team coming in, and then a win. Do we go win that one on the road? But just those little things. We had 2 Big East teams. Just not beating UCF with tackle fall, I think, hurt us. With more opportunity. But we played plenty of Power 6 schools. I don't know how many, but at least 23 or 4, I'm sure. And usually that's kind of your number. But we just didn't have many opportunities to win. We had probably the fewest opportunities to win, and we didn't win. And that's where it all really comes down to. The Minnesota win sputtered out. Michigan, obviously, we weren't able to beat them in the Big Ten tournament. We looked just like everybody else against them. I mean, they were rolling. The only team that really, I think, had a chance to beat them was Iowa. Ohio State on the road, Creighton on the road. We weren't prepared for Michigan State the way they were playing at that time. Purdue was one of those days we just kept shooting ourselves in the foot. We kept turning it over every time we thought we could make a run. They just got out that really hot start. So essentially, by the time we played Ohio State at Ohio State, there wasn't another game we could have won that mattered until the Big Ten tournament. If you look at the quad system and what it was.
This is a team that
nobody would have predicted that, and you can't.
This is a program that hasn't won an NIT game since 2008, I believe. In a time of disappointment, does that maybe provide some motivation for you and the team to know that, hey, we can do something that still hasn't been done in a long time, still take a big step in the right direction despite not
I think I'm going to have you come talk to the guys. All right? So, I don't know. I'm still emotional about the whole thing. I just walked out 10 minutes ago from seeing, grabbed a whole bunch of info from Seamus, printed it, put it in a file, and walked down here. So, we just we need to play games. Like I say, it's going to be 22 games or 21 days, and we've only played 2 games, and we're just waiting to get till Wednesday. I don't have anything real good to say to you guys today. Sorry, but it is what it is. We'll get them ready and we'll get them organized and we'll be ready to roll. Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.